here. Sky is running a very aggressive type deck. Meanwhile, we have Shawn, who is running a deck that we're going to find out together, and I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome. I will admit, I've been running around all day looking for outfits for the Worlds next weekend and doing all sorts of errands. So I didn't get to watch as much of the tournament as I would like. So definitely catch me up. And you said it was aggressive, and I mean, it doesn't get any more aggressive than a turn one Daisy, does it?
No, it is a Sky. So it's kind of fun because Sky yesterday ran a pretty mid-rangey, homebrewy kind of steel song, and this day he said, "Oh, We see Vinny on the screen because he's running Vinny. He's got Daisy. He says, "I'm gonna make you make a lot of decisions over and over again," and that's kind of the name of his deck is just make a decision. And it looks like we're seeing a McDuck. Have we seen a second color yet? I
Let's
mean,
see. I mean, there's only a couple different options you usually run that with, but I'm gonna guess we're looking at Ruby, but let's see. Could be. I can't tell. Oh yeah, I see. I think I see a Maui. Be prepared. There we go. It is Ruby Sapphire. So there it is. And turn two Tipo. It's exactly what you want to do on turn two. You missed that ramp. It's going to be a rough game. Yeah, this is. I mean, this is a matchup we've seen over and over again recently, and yeah,
it's
that's sort of
interesting, right? Because now we have to say this is the fun turn where it's like, are you about to get goofy thrown at you? Because it's kind of the tale of two decks. We have the DKPs of the world, and we have the items of the world. We haven't seen an item yet, and we've seen Develop Your Brain, which makes me believe, watch out. There could be sharks. There could be goofies. No one's safe.
Yep. There's yeah. So how many players this tournament, Katie?
Today, I believe there was 25 today. There was more
Okay.
yesterday, but it's Sunday's Cultural Series. But yeah, it's a nice tournament, but there's some heavy hitters. Sky notably won yesterday. He won the world class card 5K up in Wisconsin last time they one set ago. And then we got the Brants are here. Luke's in the top 8. So it's kind of like a tiny Midwest Worlds.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. I love seeing these local tournaments with some big names. I know there's some commentators and content creators in there as well. So a lot of fun to see the turnout there. We do have the Vanessa rather, on turn two there, setting up that singer. So it's aggressive, but does have that song support as well. And turn three, Grandma Tala there, benefiting from that extra ink. Looking at the top two cards, and it looks like we'll send back a Maleficent. And it was something blue. I missed. I missed what was.
That's when with Sapphire you have twice the chance to miss what they inked. It's quite a joy, or put send back. But yeah, Sky gets to do the very very unfun math of saying it's probably going to get bad here pretty soon. We see 5 ink is on the next turn, which means Maui can start rushing in. There could be a goofy. It's really that calculation of I brought an aggro deck. This deck loves to eat aggro for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's not the most fun position to be in, and he is the 8th seed, so Shawn got to go first, so he is definitely on the back foot in this match.
I think this is Rhino 1/16th Wolf here on turn three. Fun little card, works with that shift target, or that shift Floodborn, the Power Hamster. But only one character so far with that 3 ink.
Yeah, it's gonna be the hamster is kind of rough. It's more fun against steel, but there we see Doc with no discard, just saying I gotta go wide because that's my hope here before we get to the turn with some kind of B prep. Sharks rushing in. This is my best hope is to try to get some lore on the board before it's too late to do that ever again.
Absolutely. And then so fun little sequence there from Sky. Of course, this is an intuitive thing, but for those watching, you always want to get the information from the Daisy before you play your entire turn if you have options. So definitely getting the information for that Daisy, then playing that Happy there. And then back over to Shawn. Oh dear, let's see.
Oh dear. And that is the hyper aggro plea here. And there we go. You couldn't write it better. Shawn said, I read how to play, or not, he probably knows how to play, but it's like he wrote the guide on turn 1, and then turn 2 you tipo, turn 3 grandma.
That's true, yeah.
Then you sing, and
then you sing how far I'll go.
Hitting all my marks. Meanwhile, Sky is trying to improv around this very very masterful curve. And is it a Maui? It could be. It's tough to say.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. Like Shawn is playing basically solitaire over there. He's like, I'm just gonna ramp. I'm gonna do my thing. That's what these decks want to do. And Sky unfortunately hasn't managed to put enough pressure on, because there are turns where Sky is, or versions of this game where Sky is being super aggressive with Smees and like double daisies and things like that, where instead of singing, Grandma Tala is forced into the challenge with Tipo and responding, and Sky not putting quite enough pressure on, giving Shawn kind of that breathing room to do the rampy things, and we're going to do it even more here.
Yeah, it's kind of like that power shift of like Sky is having the most fun around like turn 2, 3, 4, and then sorry, Sky, and then Shawn is like it's gonna tuple, and then Sky's like I'm not having fun anymore. It was fun, I could do stuff, and now Shawn's like, well, now I get to do the stuff that I didn't get to do for my first 4 turns. Uh, and
Yeah.
what flavor will he bring? And instead, he just said, I'll just ramp. There's so many things I could do.
Yeah, and what's interesting here, what's kind of fun for Sky or for Shawn again is, one of the things you do in these decks is you save that Pete for the Be Prepared turn. You go wide and then at least prevent that board wipe for 1 turn, maybe 2 if you have a second one. But Shawn ramping right past that 7 turn into 8, opening up Sisu if that's available. I'm not sure if he's running Sisu or not, but yeah. So all of a sudden that Pete doesn't seem as good. But Vinnie, you had Vinnie up earlier. Here's a fun card.
This card. Look at his face. He's menacing. He's saying, "You sure about that, punk?" Now, noticeably, Vinnie is good for challenging or Be Prepared, because if he wipes this board, then you shall gain 4 lore. If he challenges, you got to go for Vinnie first. So it's a very fun card to change the math a little bit in your favor and make them kind of reevaluate the order of operations. And at a 1/4, you have to be, against a steal, you got to use some pretty potent stuff. You got a Zeus or nothing. So very exciting to see this card, but it's not going to change the math completely, but it can a little bit.
No, it's a great card. It's a bonus lore card. I mean, it does take a slot of other things you'd want to be doing, but in this scenario, Shawn, his out is to wipe the board. And so that is in this game plan, that is in the script for the movie that is this match. And so if it's going to happen anyway, why not get a bonus 4 lore out of it if you can? So it punishes your opponent for doing what they want to do. Not enough to get Sky into like super danger territory yet, but getting 4 lore off the board feels better than nothing for sure. Knive in the chat freaking out over the pigeon. Of course.
Number one bird fan.
Was Knive here before Vinnie was played, or did that like summon him?
He was. He did enter the giveaway, but I would I was gonna say no. Actually, if you say anything about pigeons several times, or Diablo, if Diablo's played R&B Summit, it's very interesting how it works. But here we go. Is that the tell of a Be Prepared? He says, I'll just start. I'll just don't.
Yep, there it is. I'm just going to quest a couple, and look at that Sky. Even before the Be Prepared, the ink is exerted. Like that double quest, that double quest there.
Which, if you're trying to inflict psychic damage onto your opponent, that might be a strategy, is quest and be like, I don't have it, and just kind of be cheeky about it. But that Vinnie, he said, listen, JDC said, read the flavor text of, that's quite the predicament you're in. Glad it ain't me. But now Sky is a little bit in a predicament.
Quite the predicament you're in.
Yeah.
Glad it ain't me.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I'm banished here. Ink and a strength. Don't need it here.
If you're going to send my friends off the board, I'm going to get some lore out of it.
Exactly. I'm sure people in New York are going, thank you. Thank you for that. That is really nice.
Also, don't gut my accent. But here's Rhino Power Hamster, 4/3, resist 2 while he has no damage, and quest for 2. So in a world where you're trying to scrape out 6 lore, getting a 2 lore character on board right away feels pretty good. Let's see. And now, okay, we're gonna let it go that straight into the inkwell and follow the McDuck Manor, which is always the perfect card to play after a board wipe. Usually the perfect card.
Well, and he said, I'm going to do something cool too. I will play Pete into a dock, which is, one might say one of the better return. Now that McDuck Manor is suddenly put a turn clock on, because he doesn't have time to deal with that manner. He just has to race, and it's going to be tenuous here to get through that. And now the shark party started.
Oh dear, yeah, that is really what's going to shut down the questing here. That McDuck Manor, very likely to stay on the board all game long. You're right. That is a ticking clock that probably will be there when the game ends. Might not be, but probably will.
There might be a couple more, honestly. If he plays the DKP school of real estate, then he's going to develop a neighborhood, because that's just honestly really fun against aggro decks. Because what are you going to do with a 1/3 and a 3/3 against
it's like
a
Monopoly over there? Got to get all 3 of them in play to
change games. Just say, we're playing a different one now. Have you heard of real estate?
Real estate tycoon. So here we go. Yeah. So hopefully, another Pete there would really kind of Well, I mean, even then you get the action back, but Sky with 3 lower on the board here could go to 17. It does open up the Shark. I know there's some How Far It Goes in the discard pile. Visions I see on the top there.
Did
Tim,
it didn't
go ahead.
resolve, right? Or it didn't. The visions that he just tried to play, it didn't resolve, right? Right.
Oh, I didn't even notice that he tried to play it. My bad.
Well,
Is that what happened here?
Well, because I see he exerted 2 ink, but Pete came down with that dock. They came down holding hands. So I'm just very interested to see how that will work in the scenario. If he's gonna have to put them back down, tough to say. But the judge is a Brandt. It's Brandts all the way. We got Shawn Brandt, Steve Brandt, and Papa Brandt, which we did make lots of jokes about yelling "Dad" instead of Judge when the Brandts played each other. But apparently they didn't do that. Would have been nice though.
Oh, here we go with the Smee and the Piglet going wide here. It looks like we're going to leave everything up, I'm guessing, and send it back over to invite Shawn to have the board wipe or find the board wipe. It's a lot of lore over there. It's enough to close things out with a little insurance.
Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of just like, please, if you have a be prepared, don't. But yeah, it's so interesting that you need to go wide to close out the game. It's your clock is going smaller and smaller, but you don't want to go too wide. But the be prepared, you don't have a Vinnie to help you this time, which would be quite nice. A second Vinnie would be beautiful.
Vinnie, yeah, that's true. That would be almost the game under there. And back over. See, the Shark changes all the math, though. Without the Shark, you quest for that 3. Even if there's something else on the board, you invite the Kraken. But giving the Visions of the Future back to enable Shawn to find a Be Prepared potentially doesn't feel good. So, leaving everything up, we'll see. We've got it. We're going to sing a Pirate's Life. That'll slow things down a little bit. And all of a sudden, the decision to play those insurance characters there feels good because I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're going to be 1 short. Whew.
Yeah. Donald Duck, bodyguard, where are you? I don't. That's rough. Now, can any of these characters? Okay, that feels pretty bad. Because he went wide, just saying like, listen, this is the only thing I have to be afraid of is be prepared. And
I mean, the Be Prepared is bad, right? But get that Pirate's Life hitting and eking away 2 of that lore is just feels. Oh, that feels so bad.
Yeah, he said, "Let's just. Can I see? No, I'm good. I'm gonna go to the next game. Thank you."
Oh no, and yeah, that's goodness gracious. Well, that honestly, but what a fun game. Both decks were kind of doing their thing. They were kind of on script, and the aggro deck Sky like had it on board. He was there, and then Shawn had both the board wipe and then just the insult to injury Pirate's Life there. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, Liam, you got thrown in. You were literally it was like that swimming style where they're like, "All right, you're gonna learn how to swim," and you were in my stream and talking. So for people that say a little introduction. This is, I mean, you don't, but if your elevator, I'm Liam.
I'm Liam, and I like Lorcana.
You summed it up.
No, that's true. Liam, I'm one half of the Illumineers. We make content on the Illumineers YouTube channel and other platforms. We have a live show every Monday night with the wonderful Mr. Brandon B Squared 24. So check us out Monday nights at 8 o'clock and heading to Worlds next weekend. So you invited me here for this last minute kind of practice, and it's great. I appreciate it. And
words like that,
spending time with you is always fun anyway. So glad to be here.
I know. I'd invite you no matter what, but I had the marketing pitch of like, Worlds, it could be good, but it's exciting. You're a friend of the ICL, friend of the show, and I'm very, very, very excited to have you here. And I just dropped your Twitch in there. You go live every Monday, probably not this. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to speak for your schedule. You're going live tomorrow, but then not the next one, or what were you doing here?
Not the next one. We'll delay till later in the week at some point, but we are going live tomorrow. And as the game gets underway, I'll just say tomorrow we're going to have another Worlds competitor on. We're going to have Shawn Novak on, and for the first time, and we're going to talk with him. So
and get to watch look at the chat as all the Worlds players come in and be like, try to listen to, because every time one Worlds player starts talking, the other one's like, oh, what are you saying over there? What are you talking about? So
it's true.
It's very fun, these interviews. And Ed was cool as a cucumber. He's like, I fear nothing.
It's so funny.
So yeah,
Ed's there every week in the chat, every week, trying to glean little
He
things.
he is one of those community members that like he is like the best at the game and also a great community member, which I'm like, can't you do it all? Dang it. Uh, but yeah, here we go into game two where Sky is now he can relax maybe a little because he now is on the play and he's saying, "Where's my daisies? Where's my ladies? Where's all my heavy hitters? Maybe a piglet as a treat." And Shawn is looking probably for maybe a goof. I didn't see a goof, but a goof could be nice. But yeah, it's going to change the script a little bit. It's definitely going to put a little bit of pressure on Shawn, but we'll see if it's enough to make Shawn actually fear what Sky's about to do. Who do you think, or do you think there is a way that Sky is favored greatly, or just a little bit, or what do you see this matchup at?
I mean,
You don't have to give the exact math, but like, give me the percentage, because I'm going to place a bet in Vegas.
no, conventional wisdom, I think, is that the Ruby Sapphire deck is slow. It wants to build up to the end game, and that the aggro deck has a very good chance of running away with things. I think against a good Ruby Sapphire player, this is more 50-50, although there are draws that these aggro decks can get where you just lose. Like if you have Daisy, 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 like what are you going to do? So it all depends on the opening 3 turns here, and for Shawn, if he can hit his ramp on turn 2, potentially ramp again, then he's okay. I will say that going in for the aggro deck, going into the action variant with the shark feels a lot worse because
Yes.
of a pirate's life and because the shark can just shut down aggro than it does going into the items build. Against the items build, I think it's pretty good matchup. Against the actions variant, I think it's a little more dicey. But it does depend on the ramp, and it does depend on how quickly the shark comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean it's hard because I mean there is a cost to pay because next turn in theory you could start doing those actions like brawl, but you do have to prioritize inking or sorry ramping. That's super vital. So we see a manor go into the inkwell to play sail. We're gonna probably ink one more card here, but during this time, Sky is like, this is prime real estate. I gotta go fast. Ship this hamster if I can. Just keep going. Hopefully, send one of the scary actions to the bottom of the deck with the daisy. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very important. Ooh,
Oh, there's Vinny. There he is again.
the man of the hour.
Yeah. So I'm doing things with my camera here. All right.
I was gonna send you the card switcher, and I said I know better than that. I'm the card guy. I'm not gonna put that on you.
Oh man,
This
I pulled it up and I'm just so bad because if I turn away for a second, I miss something, and it's yeah.
you gifted a sub. You're doing it all. You got 2 computers. You're like, listen, I'm in the matrix here. I've got this on lock. But yeah, now we see
It only felt right.
we see these the questing here. He gets up to a nice 6. He says, "Okay, listen, I know you want to come for my hamsters." Oh, and he goes for the Oh man, brawl. I said like there's not a lot of answers to a Vinny at 1-4. You gotta Zeus or something. Brawl says, I have an answer right here. So
But
that's a bummer.
but look at the difference in this game plan though, because either A, Shawn didn't have the ramp on turn 4 like the Taller or the How Far Ago, or Sky's just putting on enough pressure that rather than do that ramp on that turn, he's kind of forced to take a turn off, hit that,
Daisy.
and he misses, sends another brawl to the bottom, misses that ramp and has to spend his whole turn, using that brawl on that Vinny, and we get another one on the back end. So just the pressure here feels a lot worse than the previous game, and it's forcing Shawn into response, or he doesn't have the ramp on 4. But certainly feels like a much more aggressive game here from Sky.
Yeah, I think it is such a. I wish I could zoom in on Vinny's face because it is the face of a bird saying, "You got to make a choice," and one of them, you might regret it later. I won't tell you which one you're going to regret, but you might regret one of them. Because yeah, we can rush in a Maui here, but Vinny's not exerted. Yeah, and that hamster represents a little hamster and a big hamster at the same time. So wow.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
see 3 brawls. We played one, sent one to the bottom with a daisy, found another one. So Vinny is not going to do well, but he is, like you said, taking tempo. He's a little speed bump in
Yeah.
the journey of Shawn's deck plan or game
If
plan.
if Vinny is forcing Shawn to take a whole turn to deal with him, leaving these other characters up and not pursuing the end game plan, ramping, etc., like that's a win for the
Yeah.
aggro deck. So I'm perfectly happy to see the brawl eating the pigeon, rather than ramping into the end game answers. So yeah,
Very
and then it's
altruistic of him.
Yeah, that's true. Take the brawl.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. But here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Daisy
You,
has survived since turn one, which is usually not what you get to see. But we're still ramping. We're going to be at 7 ink next turn, so Sky gets to do the math of how wide do I want to go? What can I pull off? What am I able to pull off before things get tenuous for me?
right. Now, we said, I keep saying earlier how it feels bad to take those turns off. However, if the plan is here to wait to turn 7, and so going wide here, it looks like we're going to play the lady, play that dock for free, draw 2 cards. Heck of a turn there. Going wide, really forcing the board wipe if he has it. But, here, if the board wipe is coming down now, imagine a world in which those Vinnies weren't brawled.
Oh.
And now that's 5 lore, putting the game, almost certainly, you know,
Well,
not within reach,
he
but
didn't quest with that Tipo, so he's feeling.
okay, we do not have the board wipe. We have the Mao. It's going to come down, take out the Daisy. And it feels bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Shift that hamster, and we get to go to game 3, but we'll see here.
Let's see.
Hamster, hamster. No one's chanting it in the chat, but I'm imagining it. Or Pete could be great here as well, because then, well, Sisu but I don't think Sisu is ran in such a actiony type list.
Usually, no. I mean, anybody can run anything, so who knows?
That's true,
but
right?
Yeah.
And you're allowed to do what you want. Don't let anyone tell you differently.
Okay, Storm. We're gonna.
Is he looking for more hamster?
Perhaps.
Oh.
Rapunzel. Okay, so he stormed his own character. We didn't see the damage counters because immediately played the Rapunzel. Draw 2 cards. So refilling the hand a little bit because we're not going to be able to close it out this turn, it looks like. So drawing into more answers. So if the board wipe does occur, you can immediately flood the board again.
Yeah, so looking at Shawn's board, I mean, that is a very be preppable board if I've ever seen one. He's like, I don't have any emotional attachment to these, so we'll go ahead and do a quest as high as we can, up to 18, and that, I mean, it's be prep or nothing. But there's also Pirate's Life, but still, it's exactly where he wants to be, to put as much pressure to say you have to have answer after answer until you get to 20 from this point forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, fun play there. There's other players who might have said, you know what, I'm going to get to 19 to put any character, if I have to start putting character after character on the board to force answers or ready characters, where instead of singing, you just quest to 19 and then save some other stuff. But instead they're taking those extra 2 cards, which I think is the right play here, prepping for really the one out, which is the be prepared.
You put down one more hamster for good measure, which,
yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, we got a lot of ink going south. It is the Sisu. Okay, so actions, Sisu's. Sisu's gonna get rid of everything.
Yeah,
that's better than a be prepared.
It is.
Because it leaves your stuff up.
Yeah, and he played that hamster, which, as we know, a hamster by himself, not scary. A hamster that shifts, that could win the game. So he must have some kind of calculation going, listen, he'd see my hamster bluff 5,000 miles away. But yeah, we miss Vinnie now more than ever because, man, we could see the value in a Vinnie existing right now.
Oh my goodness. What a turn of events there. And the Sisu, I mean, it's so good right now because now if you do have the be prepared to draw into it, Sisu can sing it so you don't crush, your own tempo by forcing you to play with ink. So now, we're in that game where, Sky's gonna have to drop, character after character, try to pull out that board wipe. That getting those extra 2 cards feels pretty good right now. Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can swing together some more docks.
Yeah. What do you got? Can you, I mean, Vinnie? I like how now that's the only thing I'm like, Vinnie would be great. We just need he's my new favorite card. And it's funny too, because yesterday, so Sky had tweeted about Vinnie and I immediately built that deck because I love this card. And then yesterday I watched him play and I said, on one of the matches, he pulled a Vinnie out and I was like, you have Vinnie in your deck. And I interviewed him and he said, no, I just brought it with me. And I was like, what do you mean you just brought it with you? But now we know his master plan was day 2, Vinnie came out. So he won without Vinnie. And he's seen today, can I win with Vinnie? And it's all going to come down to this match.
I love it.
Yeah, I love a pet card, and this one is a pet card that's a pigeon. Beautiful.
Vinnie-less. Reminds me, nobody cares, but we rescued a bird today.
Oh, I care
and
now.
It was the funniest thing. It was in the road. It was flapping around. It was hurt. It was in a bad way. I stopped in the middle of the road. Aaron said, "Get out, get the bird." So I did. I brought it in the car. It was hurt. It was super subdued, and we were going to bring it to the wildlife rescue. And we got to a street light, and the bird decided it was fine,
Oh, of course.
and I wasn't holding it very tight.
Oh no.
What you think would happen in that scenario did happen. And luckily we were stopped because the screaming and the flailing didn't cause an accident. But we got it out of the car and it flapped around and it was okay. But our good Samaritan act almost turned into a disaster. So Vinny giving me like
Yeah.
PTSD flashbacks of nearly dying
You
today.
quite
But
literally got the call an ambulance, but not for me situation on the bird because he said, wow,
this is a true story.
that's beautiful. I really like it. And oh
Uh,
man. So Vinny, birds are the talk of the day. Bird is the word, but not Diablo. Although that did summon Army when I said that twice, which was kind of spooky. He's always here. What are we doing? Is it another? Please don't be another Sisu. It couldn't
it
be.
looks like, I mean, 6 ink there looks like a sneaky Sisu shift onto a Sisu, but we're gonna think about it here.
Yeah, he's like, because you got to be smart in the sense that you don't want to do anything you don't have to do. If you Sisu, you can save it and find another way to remove because Sky is going to keep throwing little bodies out, and you need to keep as many outs on your end as possible to keep getting around his what about this that he's going to keep throwing at you.
Okay, so get the shark in play. We are gonna have to deal with these 2 characters though.
Does he have any cards in hand?
So Pirate's Life gives you, I mean, a little breathing. Let's see. We're gonna sing a Pirate's Life. Is Maui gonna sing?
Oh,
Maui's
huh.
gonna let it go. Okay. Send Lady to the Inkwell.
Yeah, get a lore for just being there, right? Because in action, and then Pirate's Life.
And
Yeah,
then Pirate's Life. There it is.
okay.
Yep.
That's a
So
beautiful.
thinking about that sequence. Beautiful sequence. Clear that off. Penny will be able to quest. And here's the thing now. Penny quests, a little bit closer, gets to 18, and then that Maui is gonna swing in, bring back a Pirate's Life. It's gonna feel bad. Yeah.
That is the paradigm or the paradox you find yourself in. Need to quest to win game. Quest feed Shawn.
Quest.
Yeah.
Shawn takes my lore.
Yeah.
Um,
So either way, he says, "Well,
okay.
pass. What are you gonna do? You gonna Pirate's Life me forever?" And the answer is maybe. How far I'll go is a good place to start. And yeah, let's just dig. Let's start digging through the deck.
We're gonna look. I mean, we're looking for the board wipe here. I mean, there's. You just need to remove 1, right? Yeah, you just need to remove
2, right?
2. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that Penny is a 2-quester. She does
Yes,
it all.
I had to double check. I had to squint into the, and not finding it. Okay.
So that
Okay.
is quite literally saying you got to have it. And Shawn said, I don't have it. But he had a lot. So Shawn kind of hung in there. And now Shawn gets to be on the play. He's seen that Sky can be pretty fast. But I don't know. He got very lucky with the 3 brawls, I will say. Having 2 brawls and 1 sent to the bottom is a lot more than you would normally think. So if the math was different, Sky could see a win here. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this plays out because I don't think it's a guaranteed win for Shawn. But there are a lot of things in his favor going first with Goofy and brawls all over the place. I did see a Goof be inked, so he's in there.
Oh dear. Goofy feels really good into this matchup. Really good. Yeah, I mean this is a tough climb for Sky. I mean he really has to hope. His opening either has to be bonkers good, like Daisy, Smee, just going super aggressive, and or hope that Shawn doesn't get his ideal draw. The problem is once you get to board wipe territory, it's very, very difficult to close this out without being able to go wide. And if Goofy's in there, that's an extra hurdle to overcome. And the Pirate's Life is just 1 Pirate's Life.
One.
I hate that card. 1 Pirate's Life means any of these decks, like these mid-range or aggro decks that are looking to like, just squeak out the win to 20 lore before, the control deck takes over. It's just so bad. I mean, it basically says you have to get to 22 to win, and that extra 2 is.
It's like Donald, but it's also you have to get to 22. And by the way, I got 2 lore, so it
Yeah.
feels extra bad because I mean I remember when Shark it was Nationals. I played a deck and it was kind of when Shark was doing his Shark stuff, and I hadn't played against it a lot. And I sat down and like when my brain processed what was happening, that like he's like, oh yeah, I gain 3 lore and you lose 2 lore. I'm like, what do you mean you gain 3 lore? And what do you mean? And processing that, and then I tried to challenge it. He's like, and it's evasive. I'm like, who made this card? What is going on here? It was just it was a rough time, but we persevere. we put Zeus's in our deck, but not. I don't think I haven't seen that in Sky. We've seen Strength, we've seen Storm, but a Zeus could be quite indulgent when you have so many uninkables.
That's true. That's true. But it is the perfect answer if you have them. But yeah, Shark, really heck of a finisher.
All right, JDZ's in the chat and says, Liam, when you getting here? So, when you fly out, you said Friday? No, that'd be Thursday? Because I know Brandon said he's going to be coming in Thursday. That might not be right. I don't know. I'm not going to dox your guys' travel schedule, but soon.
Thursday.
Okay. And then, yeah, are you going to go to Disney? Because I feel like, yeah, Brandon's like, I'm going to do everything in a day. I was like, that is not possible. That you're going to. But you've been to Disney World before. It's Rebecca I'm most stressed out about. Because, I mean, JDZ is quite physically in Disney World. In the chat, just being like, hee, I'm in Disney World. Rebecca's in Disneyland right now. But she's like, oh, I only have a day for Disney World. I'm like, no, because she's going to be one of those Disneyland people that was like, I didn't like Disney World. So I'm like, you have to do all the good stuff that's very important. You like Disney World to me.
But I agree. She's not going to get the proper experience. So she cannot judge based on.
We'll bully her into not judging, which is, bullying's not okay, but if it is trying to protect Disney World and saying, just give it a chance, you need a whole week. All right, so we got a popsicle. We're starting the party. We don't generally run bells. You don't need to, but a daisy is exactly where Sky wants to go. 2 more daisies would be quite nice, though.
Indeed. I mean, that's the opening. That's the opening you want. And we'll see if he has a chance. If he's going to have a chance, then that's a start. And then missing the ramp on turn 2 would be another great indicator here. We'll see.
You do have to love when a strategy is, I hope my opponent doesn't do well, but I mean,
that's my strategy every game.
And he said, no, I've played this game many times. I'm not playing. If my hand doesn't have Tipo or Sail, I'm not playing.
Yeah, Tipo, I think the better of the ramp options here, getting that body on the board is enough to ping Daisy there, finish it off with a Grandma Tala. So, Shawn on his game plan here as well. Let's see what the response is from Sky.
I think he has a Piglet and a Daisy, judging on what I see in the chat, which kind of makes it interesting because you're like, okay, what do you have? What are you going to do? And, is that a Visions?
It is a Vision, so always fun when your opponent whiffs on that. Although, one thing I was talking to, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the player, but somebody was talking about Daisy and how it feels really bad to give your opponent cards and all that. And they were making the point that, no, it's good. Yes, it's tough when you give them cards, but you also gain information. So even that whiffing, sending that Vision to the bottom, like it's giving information to Sky. So useful. So we're going to go into the Piglet. That'll set up the turn 3
Piglet, please.
Quest for 5.
Yeah, I think I see a Pirates. I see how far I go. So luckily one pirate down, and yeah, he says, I have to do this, okay? I got to build up. I have cool stuff I want to do later, so he's going to prioritize filtering out this hand and, drawing and inking and saying, I'll deal with you later, you two.
Right, ramp. So, I mean, here's going to be the interesting thing. So, that turn 7 Be Prepared is going to be like the big out, I think, for Shawn here, especially if we can drop a Daisy and something else on the next turn. We didn't establish a Grandma Tala there, so there's nothing to challenge back into. So the question is, does Sky have the Pete to lock out that Be Prepared? That could be a game ender, unless Shawn, ramps again to skip turn 7 and go all the way to turn 8 when that Sisu could clear the board. So really, really interesting to see here. We do have the Lady. We're going to play the Daisy for free. Quest for 5. This is now a pretty scary board. So it's going to go back over to Shawn. We get the Tamatoa, but it's going to be so interesting to see here. Do we just ramp right past turn 7 because Shawn knows if that P comes down next turn.
Yeah, it's all about, do you have, because Sisu is always the better of the choice, especially against a deck where it's everything. That dragon is eaten good. It's less a dragon kibble. So yeah, he gets to decide. 2 is certainly not any of the cards I was thinking, and so yeah, he's gonna ramp right past it and say, I gotta put me first.
It heads straight to that Sisu turn. That's definitely the question is, does he have it?
Yeah, because I mean, Pete would be great, but Pete My favorite, I've said it, I can't, it's not a joke I'll never stop making, is when Pete's like, you cannot be prepared, and then the entire board gets wiped around him. He's like, oh man. But it is a visual that happens quite frequently in this game. So he has to prioritize here. Now, Vinny also could be a nice kind of bet. Be like, listen, I don't know if you're going to be prepared or Sisu, but if I put Vinny, I quest here for 5 plus 6. So, somebody could do 11, and then Vinny, that changes the math. Quite nice.
Vinny would be a game ender. Potentially.
Vinny, the MVP. But we're going to start here.
So let's get information. I'm going to take a look. Whiff on the manor. Once again.
I didn't see him play the manor, which, it's a nice hedge. Oh. That feels really nice. Maybe not, we don't know what else is in his hand, but one brawl down is always one brawl that I'm happy to see go to the bottom of Davy Jones' locker. And at 16, what is he going to slap down here?
Here we have 3.
Vinny!
It's the Vinny! Oh my goodness!
Okay, so yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, if he wins off this Vinny, Vinny stunks. Everybody, go to TCG Player and get an enchanted Vinny. Just kidding, they don't have that yet.
Oh my goodness.
Vinny.
So, I mean, at this point you want that brawl, but you got to brawl and couple it with something else. The brawl's in the bottom. I mean, oh my goodness. This is...
You have to take care of. I mean, like that little Tipo cannot sing, so he can't do anything. Something fun to get rid of Vinny before you do a B prep. So, man, if Sky, I hope we get to do an interview, because I was like, I'm so mad.
And he does have the Sisu.
Wow, he says, I'll do it. And
that was the game. That was the game plan. Right past 7, go on 8, dodge the Pete. Instead,
Vinny
could not dodge the Vinny. Oh my goodness, what a finish.
What an elating finish too. Because I feel like I won, because I went from being like, I can't believe Sky, you didn't play Vinny, and then he's like, okay, I'll play a Vinny as a treat. Let me see. What a finish. That's
what a
really
finish.
Nice.
Shout out Zachary.
A photo finish.
I approve of that joke. I approve that joke.
So yeah, so that was quite a fun game to see. So Sky went from going to, he bubbled in, by the way. So the bubble was at 9 points, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on the bubble, and he was the one person that bubbled in. So he is to the answer of, you feeling lucky, Punk? I think he does.
I mean, lucky, and what a call. I mean, especially if you said, that Vinny wasn't in yesterday and isn't today, because like both players were playing the traditional script of this deck, and Shawn he knows the plan, right? He knows, okay, this deck is dangerous to me because of, an actions deck. Pete is the worst possible thing I can see, especially when I need to wipe the board on turn 7, turn 8. So the plan is, is to aggro into a Pete and close out the game. I'm gonna accelerate right past 7. I'm gonna unlock the Sisu. Played everything right. Did everything right. And that Vinny, what a meta call here.
He literally tweeted a deck with Vinny and said, you took my toys and now I do this. And that's why I was really sad to not see him play, because I love the villain arc. He's on Club Villain with Baker. And he tweeted this very deckless, you took away my toys, now I must show them how bad they messed up. Fly, Vinny, fly. Ban this bird was the hashtag. Ban this
really
bird.
Let's find, I gotta find that tweet too. Let's if you find that, send it to me, because
I will, because it's beautiful. I mean, this is a Cinderella story. First brooms, now birds. All right, so I think we're gonna have Sky coming in.
So I wanted to swap to Vinny after playing the BR guest mid range yesterday, which I think I enjoyed the playstyle of the mid range a little bit more. But as if I can get a win with Vinny too, we'll let him fly.
Absolutely.
So this was a plan. You weren't just winging it.
No, yeah. Last night I was like, I won with the mid range deck. Maybe we'll try to win with Vinny too, because I still don't know which is technically better. I think they both have advantages into a meta. It probably just depends on how much red blue there is, because aggro has a much better chance against it, as you probably saw in that last match. But yeah, I think they're both good, and I'm still kind of deciding what's the best play.
I think deciding whether the room will have more steel or more ruby is the truly most painful thing before a tournament. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nightmare, right? You're just guessing.
But yeah, I think it's beautiful. Mostly, I just really like that you really the tweet, which is apropos for Vinny, was you took away my toys and banned this bird. It seemed
they took away my Flavershins. They took away my Fortispheres, and so I just play the stupid bird now.
Stupid bird. Yes, he's beautiful. He did everything he needed to do. So how did it feel? You bubbled in at 9 points, and there was, I believe,
Yeah,
6 other people.
I really did not think I was gonna make it. I was like doing the math before, and I thought I had to win because I got the down pair to the one person that was 2-1-1. So I thought like if I lost that last game, it was just over. That's why I was in the tank for so long against red purple, just trying to not mess up anything those last like 2 turns. And then I scraped in there. So I think it was my second or my first tiebreaker was tied with the person. It was the second tiebreaker that got me in.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that match because it was just. I mean, it was hard. I mean, if it was an items version, you'd have a lot more runway. But I mean, knowing that there's goofs, seeing those brawls, the 3 brawls, one to the bottom, and then he's like, "I got another," had to have been.
Yeah. I was when Daisy hit the brawl, I was like, all right, surely it doesn't have a third one, right? And he popped it out.
I do have one.
I had a spare Vinny, but I did not have my third one. He had the third brawl.
But yeah, so I mean, now you are gonna be moving into a top 4. But I did put your tweet on the screen so everybody can see Big Vinny's Pizza. I know this isn't the exact list, or is it the exact list? I mean, I don't tell anyone. Say
it is the
Glomar.
exact list.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's up there.
Beautiful. So yeah, that was on May 31st. It is now June 22nd, and Vinny's flying around and getting in people's heads.
Yeah, aggro. It's kind of like a deck that it doesn't change too much based on the meta. Like it's usually just like the best, most efficient cards that go in. There's not like too much space to tech. This is already just like when you're going first, you just want to do the best, most aggressive things. So don't worry about teching and stuff you can play on like turn 4, and then or I guess an example would be like Benja. Like don't fall into the trap, and then unless you know there's just a ton of red blue items to just throw in for Benja because they're probably not going to come out too often.
So Liam, this is you haven't got the joy of watching Sky play pretty much for 2 days straight of just like being Amber Steel song. So what questions do you have about? I mean, yesterday he had. This is interesting. You might not know. He had 3 Sonic Warriors in his deck. It was a very, very, very cool deck. So what questions do you have about his deck building?
I mean, no, not getting to watch the last couple of days is kind of a bummer because it sounds like you've been putting on a clinic in Amber Steel and the various ways that you can play it. It's a deck with a variety of styles, and so getting to see you kind of tinker with each one sounds super fun. And I'm actually going to have to go back and see what you did yesterday versus today. But I loved the Vinnie build because it gives you some way to close things out after the control deck takes control of things. And we saw so what I'm actually curious about was this script going into this game, because we saw Shawn on several times aware that the Pete Games referee could lock out the board wipe on turn 7 and so accelerate straight past 7 into
Right.
8 ink with a Sisu. And the way that you bam 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 Vinnie to just like ice the game, is that the script that you had in mind for Vinnie into this matchup?
Yeah, so I had a super strong hand going into that last one. Obviously, going second is tough because you're just one turn faster to the B preps and the Sisus. But I had Daisy and Piglet, and then I also had like a Lady, and I was like hoping to get another 2-drop for the Lady, and then I had a Vinnie as well. So like my hand was very good. I had kind of had it planned out. In those situations, if like you said, he decided to play the How Far I'll Go on like turn 4, I think, and that sets him up to either play the B prep or the CISO. So if I do Pete, he has the option to go with the other one. So if you don't have the Pete, which I didn't, Vinny's obviously the best because then it's just over. He can't board wipe and take out the Vinny first. So yeah, like he was definitely doing the right thing and just saying, hey, if you don't have Vinny, it's probably my game. But
yeah,
It's
I'm just sorry. I'm just getting really excited about Vinny. I'm like, Vinny's happening. It was Brooms last week.
he's good. He's
Vinny's
good. He's a slept on
enchanted.
card for sure.
And I think it could be fun. I think maybe an Amber Steel could be fun. Not Amber Steel. We just saw that. Amethyst Steel. I think any card that says, hey, you have to do some math. I'm going to make it hard for you. You do it, not me. I'll just give you
Sure,
problems.
yeah. I mean, with how many good purple 1-drops there are, I think like Vinny is definitely relevant in that matchup. It's like if you kill him on my turn, I get lore, or I can just pop them and draw cards on my turn if they live.
Yeah. So beautiful. And I mean, I won't take up too much more of your time, but Liam, do you have any other questions for this?
I mean, I always have thousands of
I know.
questions, but I know Sky needs to get ready for the next round, so hopefully we'll see him again afterwards. But I'm just super interested to take a look and dig into what you were doing yesterday versus today. And I don't know, it was fun watching you pilot this, Sky. Congrats on a fantastic match.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good talking with you guys.
Absolutely. Good luck out there.